When I started to enter the room today, I had someone approach me and say, "You can't come in here unless you have a PhD. Do you have a PhD?" And I says, "No, but I own one. Does that count?" You know, if you don't know what a PhD is, that's called a post-hole digger. Okay? And you wouldn't believe the life experiences that I've gained from operating my PhD in Lee County, New Mexico. And if you want to learn about some real unique life experiences, as I went through all of that, I'll buy you a drink afterwards and we can talk about it, okay? I'm thankful to be here. This training thing is a real challenge. And I was hired by Southeastern New Mexico College 10 months ago. And the challenge I was given is get us in the market, Jerry. We're 10 years behind everybody else. That's quite a challenge. It took a lot of market assessment to be able to figure out a different way of training. And that's what I want to talk about. But before I can get into all of that, I want you to understand a little bit of what I'm going to talk about today. I want to share with you my background, what has been ingrained in me because of how I was raised. And that's very important because as I lay that background, I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about the training opportunities and the way I view it and some ideas that I have to offer a different type of training to meet the market needs. And then I'm going to extend an invitation to you. And when I extend that invitation, it's important for you to understand how I roll. Because I may not be the type of instructor or the type of manager that you may want to work with. And yet you may say you're really different and it's a wholly different, a different approach. So that's what I'm going to do when I go through this. You need to understand that I was raised in the age when there were things that were expected of you. It was the rule, it wasn't the exception. Things like curative thinking, solving problems. Things like strong work ethic, it was the rule, okay? Things like integrity, all right? Things like figure it out, get it done, do it right the first time. That was ingrained in me, or I didn't live to see tomorrow, okay? That's the way it was, and that was the way I was raised, all right? So understand, I want you to understand the level of excellence that I strive to achieve in anything that I do. Because all I ever wanted to do was to hear my dad tell me that he loved me and that he appreciated me and thank you, son, for all you do. And I never got that. But that was my driver, okay? I had those things instilled in me, and when I was told to go get a wrench out there on the farm, I didn't get to go walk. I had to go run and get it and get it back, all right? So that was the time that I was raised up in. Those things have been ingrained in me, all right? So I want you to understand that about me. Okay, my background is agriculture. I've done a lot of things. I'm an owner. We operate a pistachio farm. We raise show lambs. And farming and agriculture has laid my foundation for soil science and agronomy. I'm a certified microscopist. I do a lot of different things, and I have soil classes that I want to bring up right now where I implement soil regeneration, to where I changed our conventional agricultural production from conventional farming and salt-based fertilizers to organic, and so it was quite a process. But those are things that we do, and I'll come back on that in a minute because it's been ingrained in me, and I share that knowledge with my students. So when you get ready to go out and to put this produced water out on agricultural farms, as an owner-operator and even a corporate agribusiness manager, I know how to manage those farms, and I know how to raise those crops, and I have students that can do that too, so please keep us in mind, okay? I was hired, like I say, in September of 24, so I've been at SNMC for 10 months. Mike asked me to help him develop curriculum and to help train produced water operators. And I was very honored that he asked me to do that, and very glad to try to step up to the plate. And so here I am trying to figure out which way to go, how to come up with a new way of training, because I don't want to do it like everybody else. You know, I want to set a different precedent. I want to do something different. I have to do something different in order to gain market share in a mature market, okay? And being a new kid on the block. So one of the things that happened, as Providence would have it, when the Biggendorf annual meeting occurred last year, I sat down at a table. We were at the brewery having lunch or dinner, and we were at the table, and I sat down there all by myself. On one end, Mike was a couple of chairs down from me, and we were talking around a couple of people, and I sat down there. I didn't know anybody else. And all of a sudden, I was surrounded by 4 people. 2 of those people are here today. I had the opportunity to meet Tony Haig and Edney Garcia with Strongbox. I didn't know them at the time, but I had the opportunity to visit with them, and they shared with me their approach of how they got to be good operators and to be successful with their particular system. And what I learned from them was that the way they did it was by their own volition, by their own curative thinking skills that they utilized, solving problems and figuring it out, getting it done. And it might not have been all right the first time, but you went back many, many times until you continued to improve, and you wind up with a finished product. And so I was very thankful because it helped me realize that, you know what, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to go 4, 5, 6, 10 years to be able to do that. We need operators right now, and they had a technique and something that worked for them. And what I learned was that Edney was trained with on-the-job training. And if you've been around these guys, they are excellent. And in my opinion, I think they are a great representative for the industry. They would be great poster children for the industry. They work hard, they have ethics, they want to solve problems and meet the needs of the industry. So I'm thankful that our paths crossed, and thanks for sharing those things with me, because it gave me the ideas about what I needed to do to try to create a different way. As a result of some of those things and my thinking, I went to Mike and I said, you know, I have an idea. What I want to do is I want to be the best instructor I can be. I want to do all I can. So I want to be trained. I want to be the operator that's trained. I want my skill levels, my operational skills of the equipment to be commensurate with the operators. And then I take that knowledge back to my class, and then I teach my students how to operate and come up to the same level. It's performance-based. Everything is performance-based. But then that puts me in a situation where I become a competent instructor, not just a qualified instructor. Anybody know the difference between qualified versus competent? Anybody tell me? First one that can tell me the difference, I'll buy you a drink afterwards. Anybody? Yes, sir, Brian. That's true. What about curative thinking skills? Does that enter into it, Brian? It does. Keeps you ahead of the curve. The difference, been there, done that. Absolutely, yeah. So does that give you any insight about anything that might happen in the field if you've already been there, done that? Absolutely it does. The difference between OSHA definition of competent versus qualified is the fact that qualified means that you have expertise. You have some knowledge. It can come of various different ways. But in order for you to be competent, you have to go to the next level. You have to be knowledgeable enough to be able to perceive a potential hazard that looks like it's fixing to happen soon enough so that you can take the positive steps the curative steps in order to prevent a disaster from happening. You can see a disaster coming and you can go shut it down in order to save somebody's life. That's the level of expertise of being competent. And for me to do the best I can, to be the best I can, then I have to have two things happen. I have to be, number one, invited to come out into the market to be trained on the job training with that particular technology, or somebody has to allow me to come to their facility to have 2 to 3 weeks of training so that I can teach those students specifically for those operators to train them for that particular need or that treatment technology. And nowadays, that need is now. We need them right now. So as a result of Mike, he helped us open up, he opened up the doors for a collaborative arrangement to be formed between us and Sun Vapor. Okay? And I'm going to be the plant operator for them. And I'm working with them already with the logistics as we get this thing up and going, and hopefully it's going to be in production. But the bottom line is that I'm going to get the training, and I'm going to become a competent instructor. And then I'm taking that back to my classroom, and then I'm going to teach them so that they can come up to the level that I aspire for them and for everyone that leaves my class. Now, how do I market this? I intend to piggyback on our OSHA programs and our MSHA programs that we have training. And most of the people that are coming in are Hispanic. I mean, Dr. Adams is here from the Permian Energy Development Lab. Is that the proper name for it? Okay. Dr. Adams is here, and that was very important. They produced a document back in August this past year, and they did a market assessment of all of the workforce in the Permian Basin and in our county. And what they showed was that 80% of the workforce, the small wheels that make the big ones turn, were Hispanic. And only 20% of them had a high school education. So there's a language issue, right? Because what I find is that when a lot of the Hispanic people that come in for our safety training, historically for years, they can't speak English. They go to all the training, and they check the checklist saying that they've attended, and they go out of there with no knowledge learned, nothing gained. They didn't understand a lick of it. All right? Well, what I want to do is share something with you today, and I don't care what business you're in. I want to do this to help you. I want to turn you on to something that we use in our training classes, and these are posters. And these posters break and destroy that language barrier. These posters tell a story, the pictograms, the pictures of every one of this. This is fall protection. I have some on chemical. I have, you name it, lifting safety, you name it, slips, trips, welding, chemical hazards, pumps, lockout, tagout. All of these pictures tell the story. We have people that can't speak English, but they look at these pictograms and it tells the story and they understand it. When you go out on locations today, you may have 4 to 5 different languages that are being spoken. You know, it doesn't have to be printed in English. I mean, it does. Well, it doesn't have to. But it doesn't have to be in Arabic. It doesn't have to be in Spanish. These pictograms tell the story. So I'm going to leave this up here for you to look at this, because you'll find some that would be of interest to you. And you can put these on your walls. And I have people come in, and we've got them in the classroom, and they see this, and I have them teach a class for me. They don't even know it. They can't speak the English. They see the pictures, but then they teach each other. I'm telling you, it works. We use it. So I brought this so that this will help you wherever you're at. And when you're training and you're dealing with a language barrier, this solves a problem. This destroys that problem. So it's a tool that I wanted to share with you. Okay. The invitation that I want to extend is that all educators, all educational institutions always need partners. There's more than just monetary partners, but yeah, we need that too. But we need for people, in order for these things to happen, is that if you would like us to train this type of, if our type of employee that, and we haven't done that, we're in the initial phases right now. The first step is what Mike helped us do in opening that door of Sun Vapor. So we're in the discovery and the development phase of this. But if this is a program in the type of employee you would have or operator you would love to come in and work for you and to be trained in that matter specifically for your particular treatment technology, please give me a call. Please give me an opportunity to come learn your system so that I can do that for you, so we can do that for you. Please share your treatment technology with us. Loan us a machine. My goal is to have a one-stop shop so that I have multiple treatment technologies, pre, post, whatever we need, but multiple treatment technologies so that we have a one-stop shop. So instead of you and your company having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or trying to figure out what's going to work for you, all you have to do is bring me your produced water, and we can run tests on any combination of any of the treatment technologies. That's all you have to do. So I extend that invitation. If it sounds like something you'd like to be a player in or be a participant of or like to help us develop it, please let me know. Let's figure it out. Let's solve the problem. Let's get it done. Thank you.